Everything and everything connected. Everything and everything connected. Everything connected. Everything and everything connected. Everything and everything connected. Everything and everything connected. All together well. Everything and everything connected. 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 Oh, together well. Everything and everything connected. Everything and everything. Oh no, we are all together well. All together well. Everything and everything connected. Everything and everything connected. Now we're all together well. We can do a practice, a short heart brain coherence practice. I love to add the humming to presencing practice. It has these beautiful, soothing, massaging, activational capacities in the body to stimulate the vagus nerve that roots into the voice and flows through the whole body. The nervous system sends energy and information throughout the being. What a gift to have a voice, to hum, to tone. And then with that, its presence into the heart center. As you breathe in, breathing into your heart and breathing out. Releasing all negativities and feeling into a warmth. That is noticing all that you're feeling. Welcoming all the parts of yourself. Thank you. on that note, and doing this heart-brain coherence practice, I would like to pay a special tribute to a framework brought to my attention by Judy Soul, Papuam, following the principles of the various dimensions of being, from plants to animals, people, water, earth, air, and microbes. I like to view it from the microbes through to people at the end, to build from the building blocks and also of gut health through to the full realization of community health and global health. I love the sound of it to be in the reverse. MAEWPAP, MAEWPAP. So I would like to bring this framework in here to do the heart-brain coherence for a quick minute. Breathing into the heart, let's pay special tribute and honoring to the microbial world, just in reflection that within the heart, within the center of being, there is microbes, there are so many influences of interactivities. We honor this world and we say thank you because it has kept us alive to be here now. And in that gratitude for the microbes, deepen your breath into your heart and grow your awareness through to the air that you breathe, hugging the heart. Keeping your heart centered and your breath, expand your awareness through to the earth beneath you, feeling your gravity pull down where you're seated, lying down or standing, and allow yourself to move and presence into your being in gratitude that you are here now. Breathing the air on the earth, and with water that has memory, you can now restore in your being coherence through honoring the flow of water and the shifting nature of water to receive your intentions now. Gratitude intentions growing as you're breathing and feeling the sound of your own voice. Become aware of the plants that you have in your area, breathing with you, giving you oxygen. And the animals that share your space and surroundings, through to the insects, the mammals, the birds, and all other. And the people in your life that bring nourishment, support, and kinship. Allowing gratitude to grow in your heart and whatever else you may find to be nourished by this. As you breathe and hum, feeling the body in its sound and flow. everything and everything connected. Um, mm, And growing your awareness of this gratitude bubble growing throughout the earth. From where you are expanding on all these levels, paying tribute in honoring of life as it is. And just growing your gratitude with every breath and every hum. In this way, you can feel vibrationally how you loosen your sense of I and open to the greater context of the oli oli, the bigger I am, and life that moves through it all, the I am through all life forms. And becoming aware of your body, breathing in and returning back to feeling your weightedness on the earth, the atmosphere around you, the bioregion. All of the creatures in your area, from the microbes on the air you breathe, and the earth beneath you, and the water in all its states and stages through all life forms. And the plants absorbing and sharing energy and information. The animals and the people. And through to your own person here now, in your heart centered. Breathing. And in this focus, knowing whatever has come up for you has come to be brought into recalibration as more you find your peacefulness and centeredness. So to find your true natural impact and power in this world effortlessly. I'd like to read some more for us from this book, A Vision of the Aquarian Age by George Trevelyan. I picked it up recently and first started spot reading and found really interesting bits of perspective. And so, sharing the journey of reading, can follow along on the Regenerative Cultures Work channel. In chapter 1, we've come to page 10, where we read the poem The Cage by Martin Armstrong. I'll start with the poem to recap and continue. on page 10, chapter 1. Man, afraid to be alive, shuts his soul in senses 5. From fields of uncreated light into the crystal tower of sight, and from the roaring songs of space into the small flesh-carven place of the ear whose cave impounds only small and broken sounds, and to his narrow sense of touch from strength that held the stars in clutch, and from the warm and ambrosial spice of flowers and fruits of paradise into the frail and fitful power of scent and tasting, sweet and sour, and toiling for a sordid wage there in his self-created cage. Ah, how safely barred is he from menace of eternity. To the filters of the 5 senses may be added the filter of conceptualization, of logical, rational thought. If the universe is suffused with the creative power of divine mind, puny man in his evolving consciousness needs a filter to insulate himself against an overwhelming inrush of too great a pressure from the living cosmos. As T.S. Eliot says, humankind cannot bear very much reality. The brain should thus be seen as an organ for reflecting and selecting ideas, enabling the intellect to function as an instrument within the limitations of matter. The very convolutions of the brain may reflect, in fact, the convolutions of thought in the universe. In contrast, mind implies that which can transcend brain-bound intellect and merge again with higher thought worlds. As Rupert Brooke says, we are but a pulse of the eternal mind. It was the colossal achievement of Rudolf Steiner, of whom we will speak further later, to demonstrate at the beginning of the century that by intensifying his thinking and developing his latent faculties, man can achieve sense-free thinking. This entails an elevation of thinking to merge with the world process, thus offering the possibility of direct and immediate apprehension of truth and reality. For Steiner, in consequence, there were no grounds for claiming limits to knowledge. Indeed, Steiner's whole life was a demonstration that thinking, as he conceived it, was an instrument for exploring the creative thought of the universe, and doing so not only in full consciousness, but with a certainty comparable to that afforded by scientific method. In this way, Steiner established the foundations for a true spiritual science, and his demonstration of sense-free thinking, as well as those of other modern adepts, destroys the primary argument against survival after physical death, namely that once the brain is gone, there can be no individuality of consciousness. If man as a soul or spirit being is eternal, he is living in a different spiritual sphere when not incarnate in this body. And there a physical brain is obviously unnecessary. Thus, it becomes apparent that consciousness widens when bodily limitations are transcended. The concept of different levels of consciousness, of which Earth is the lowest and densest, is basic to the worldview we are considering. The spiritual being, man, descends from a subtler plane to assume a body, the necessary sheath in which to live amid earth vibrations. This body is no more than a species of overcoat which may be discarded when worn out. We might also compare the body to a diving suit. If one wishes to explore the ocean floor, he may don a special suit which protects him from the immense pressure of the depths into which he will descend. Thus clad, held down by leaden boots, he may stump along and peer out through his visor into the marvels of the deep. And he may become so absorbed by those marvels that he forgets, for a time, the two tubes which, by providing him with oxygen, keep him alive and link him with the world above. If we, like undersea divers, break the surface and remove our helmets, we will breathe deep of sunlit air and recognize the atmosphere in which we properly belong. And should we choose to return to the depths, our entire attitude will be changed. Though the significance and beauty of what lies below will in no way be diminished. In short, then, there are subtler senses, undeveloped and often unrecognized faculties, which can apprehend higher worlds. These can be perfected and trained through meditation and a variety of other techniques that serve to concentrate our energy and resources and distract us from distraction. Contact with the worlds of spiritual being is always possible and accessible if we learn to overcome the sense of separation inevitably associated with incarnation, and if we can develop the dormant organs of perception. As Clarice Toyne says in The Testament of Truth, every cubic centimeter is shot through with all that is. Thus it is with the spiritual world. If, in meditation or vision or true creative imagination, we begin to experience its reality, we will know with indubitable certainty that it is the realm to which we properly belong, and that we are only sojourning in the world of gravity for a brief period of education and experience. Once this recognition dawns, our whole attitude towards the body and the world will inevitably change. One will then see the soul as undergoing a form of allegorical pilgrimage, a journey of the kind so often symbolized in myth. It must submit to trials and ordeals, all of which are tests designed to train and strengthen it so that, when its course is run, it may return to the realms of light, and perhaps climb higher towards the divine source, which was its origin and is its goal and ultimate home. From this perspective, what occurs in life is not a sequence of chance mishaps, accidents and misfortunes, but a pattern that is, in some mysterious way, planned. From this perspective, it becomes apparent that our higher self has somehow chosen its own destiny, the destiny that we mistakenly ascribe to the transient personality. But this does not imply blind determination or predestination. The option of free choice is always available to the soul. But the flaws in personality, the soul's vestment, will draw it into situations, contacts, and circumstances in which temptations will have to be confronted again and again until they are finally overcome. The spiritual worldview accommodates the certainty that we all have invisible guides, so to speak, who are lovingly watching over our progress, and that we have a higher self, a spiritual principle towards which we must perpetually aspire. All our sufferings are designed to teach us to overcome our lower desires, so that each of us may reunite with his or her own higher self.